Hello, today we'll show you a game I played against Daniel Dada from Belgium, who I believe is from, apparently he's from Albanian descent. His father also plays chess. And Daniel is one of the most talented young players in Europe. So we're quite lucky to have him in mainland Europe. Hopefully he won't go over to America. So it's a good thing for Belgium chess. He's already the top player in Belgium. I believe he's still in his teenage years. He's already, so it shows how promising he is. But we'll show you this game, and really I got annihilated. But there were one or two moments that I was very disappointed with. So, firstly, theory. My theory is terrible, right? I mean, I should be knowing exactly what to do against this line. I should be studying all these variations. I don't do enough work on my openings, clearly, because I've had this online, but I've never really studied it in any great detail. And that is to my detriment. My opponent probably knew it better than I did, obviously did. He went d5. I've had this online, and I think you can take and go bishop d3. I went d4, which was a bit of a cop-out move. And again, yeah, I started getting nervous here for no particular reason. And I misassessed this. I thought this was a lot worse for me. Mainly because I was concerned about this and this. And I'm a little bit rusty. I haven't played in several weeks. And, I know that's an excuse, but it is what it is. I need to play more, clearly. I think when you get older, you get more vulnerable to rust. But yeah, this is not that bad for white. Yeah, one of the reasons is if he goes here immediately and dives in here trying to grab this pawn, you have knight d2, and suddenly black is even in trouble according to the engine. So I think he probably would have just played a move like rook c8, and black is doing quite well. But instead of this, I played quite a poor move actually. I went bishop c2, which is a bit of a sloppy move. He could have actually gone knight c4, maybe it was even better. It's a possible slight improvement. But bishop d6 is very natural looking. And I was aware that he had this idea of going knight f3. Which was also quite good for black. And we kind of got that position, but I felt like I could hold it if he went knight f3. But he went rook e8. Yeah, and again, this is a very strange decision by me. Why didn't I go bishop c2? Which is the most natural move in the board. I did actually see something like this. Knight b3 with the idea of knight c5. Also sometimes knight d4. But knight d4 you've got to be slightly careful. You don't allow takes and rook e2. Can be annoying because you don't really want to go rook c1. It's a bit of a passive move. But knight c5 is a positional threat. And if they go b6, I guess you can go knight d4 maybe, or some other move. I'm not sure. But they could also go bishop d6, knight d4, rook f8. And I think black should be slightly better, but nothing special. So I probably should have played that actually. Bishop c2. That was... Again, when you're kind of a little bit out of form, you don't really trust your instincts. And I think when you're a little bit rusty, so this is why I need to play more. Because I think if I played more, I wouldn't have played bishop d. Bishop d5 is like being nervous, overthinking it. It's not a very good move. And he played a very classy move around about here. After g3, which probably wasn't a very good move anyway. He played bishop a4, which I'd seen, but I'd probably underestimated it. And the point is, if you go b3, you're just going to come back somewhere. And this pawn is very weak. Possibly also could take immediately. I'm not sure about the variations if he took. But I think he can just potentially come back to b5, for example. Or even to d7, and the big problem then is this pawn becomes weak. So you can imagine a variation like this. Rook e2 would be a lot better for black. it's just generally the bishop pair are very strong here. The position is quite open. Yeah, I don't have a way of restraining this bishop pair. And that was why I was considering maybe this might have been a better try. What does the computer say after that move? Yeah, it's not great though. It's still worse. But just the idea of restraining the potential of that bishop, but it's all a bit desperate really. And he went bishop b5, which is a very good move. And now he's threatening rook d5 as well as bishop c4. So my hand is forced. I went here. And I started to realise through, playing very simple chess, black is already on the verge of winning. It actually reminded me of an old game I had against David Howe, where he had like the bishop pair with the rooks. And that was also in the foreign seal, I think. One of my many losses to David. And yeah, so this is where I went rook d1, which is a transparent threat. I'm threatening bishop e6, so he doesn't have time for h5. So he played a rook d6, accurate move, defending the rook. Yeah, and so this is really the key moment of the game. Although I'm actually in trouble here, because black has played so accurately and so well, I'm already in trouble. I haven't played a very critical opening variation. It's a tough level when you play against these superstars. This kid was playing against Hans Niemann, playing against some of the best players in the world a few weeks ago in Vikings AB. So this is a real test, right? Which I obviously failed miserably. But after rook d6, yeah, so this is a critical position. This is where I really should have been investing some time, because I had still plenty of time left, even though I was well down on the clock. He had over 50 minutes at the end of the game. I had over 30 minutes. So you should be sitting there, you should be investing some time, working out the variations, really. You should be an expert on this position. If somebody comes up to you after the game and says, look, what's going on in that position? I saw when he went rook d6, what were the variations there? What was going on there, Gormally? Well, I haven't got a clue, mate, because I basically played c4 and I just guessed. Well, I couldn't have a clue what was going on. I had a little punt. I threw, it's like you're gambling, because I went to c4, which is a terrible move, losing on the spot. Now, apparently, I was considering f3 immediately, which is also a better option than what I played. Still losing, by the way. But apparently the best option is gf. And then f3. Well, I was afraid that the variations like this, you'd have rook e2. By the way, stop your computer here. It's not rook e2. Rook e2 is not the best move. But although it's still better for black, I think, even after rook e2. But there's actually a very strong move here. So have a think about the position. You might want to freeze your computer and have a think about it, because it's actually quite an interesting position to analyse, I didn't consider going gf, because obviously I was concerned about rook g6 ideas, but rook g6 would run into bishop f7. So if you've unfrozen your computer, the video, and you've had a good think about it, what did you think of? Did you consider the move bishop a4? If you do, congratulations, that is the star move. That's the best move that black has, and apparently the computer thinks that black is close to winning, or is very, very strong for black. So one of the ideas is, if you go b3 again, that bishop's coming to life. Not really a move you want to play. So it looks as if white is defending after bishop b3, but then a very clever idea is to come back. Now, clearly if I start grabbing pawns, it's going to lead to a very bad position for me because of this. But if I go bishop d5, there's a very subtle point that you take, or you take with the rook, it doesn't really matter, because you're going to exchange everything on d5 anyway. And now instead of going here, which runs into rook g5, you go here first. Now after king g2, you have rook e2 check. And then after king f2, you go rook b1. And white is in significant, has serious problems, because rook d2 is h5 and the knight is trapped. Very clever idea. And again, if I go here, I'm running into here, followed by, now the bishop is free. So there might be some variation where I can pick off the H pawn, but it's not going to be enough to save the game. So, yeah, very difficult variation to see that. I think having played bishop a4 earlier, it's possible he might not have found bishop a4. It's not obvious. Although he may have seen it already, I don't know. But yeah, he explained to me afterwards. So I was saying that I could have gone F. He suggested F3 was better. What I missed was that I could go rook e1. So again, poor calculation, not taking my variations further enough. I'm just guessing. Playing c4 is like a guess move. Didn't spend any time. Because I only considered rook d2, because your natural reaction is to keep on the bishop, but of course that's losing to here. So I'm looking at this variation. Well, why aren't you checking the variation? Check to see if there's something you missed. Rook takes, bishop takes, rook e1. He'd seen that. He spends apparently every day, he's studying Lie chess puzzles. Dozens and dozens of Lie chess puzzles every day to train his calculation. Something that we should all try and do, really. If you've got the application to do that, but he calculates very fast, and I wasn't able to keep up with that. But again, you know, I think we've seen really that a reason why my chess has gone downhill, and I've kind of understand now why my chess has gone downhill. I understand the reasons for it, but fixing it is a bigger problem. So I feel the main reason why my chess has gone downhill. Well, firstly, we touched on openings. Secondly, when we get to a position like this, which is critical, I stop calculating concretely and start playing on emotions. Feel takes over. Intuition takes over too much. Maybe I play too much blitz online. I start reacting. You know, rather than engrossing myself in a position, trying to work out all the details of the position, I'm jumping ahead too quickly. And so, yeah, emotionally, I'm letting my emotions guide me too much. You know, if I was calmer, if I was more informed, I'd have probably seen that after f3, rook e2, there's takes, rook e1. Didn't see that. I played a terrible move instead. So, yeah, he could have won possibly after f3 with his bishop, or takes, f3 is more accurate because you don't give him this option of taking on g3. It looks counterintuitive to open up g file with a knight on g4, and of course rook g6 allows bishop f7. But c4 was a terrible move because now he went here, and I suddenly realised my intention had been to play f3. Now I suddenly realised at c6 I'm in big trouble anyway. I don't know what I was thinking about. I didn't check the variation to see if there was anything wrong with it. Didn't falsify the variation. Bishop e4, he can take, and I can resign the game. So I went h3 out of pure desperation, understanding that there's h5 and bishop h3 ideas on, but I didn't see anything better. But actually now he went c6 first, which is even stronger. He could have even maybe won with rook e1, was also very strong. That was another way to win. The bishop's coming to d4, and I'm going to lose the game. But I do have some counterplay rook e7, so that's why I didn't play that. But he took first and went rook e1, which is even more accurate variation. The point is that if I go here, he goes h5, and the knight is trapped. Very nice variation. So I've got to go here, which is effectively a resignation time. I only played on because out of inertia, or really because I was annoyed, and like here I can resign already. Like, well, even this move is just game over, right? No, bishop g4 is not a good move. Sorry, yeah, you have to go bishop g2, bishop g4, knight g4, and bishop b2. So now I can't like allow bishop e5. I've got to watch out for bishop e5 with the material as well. So I went rook here, and bishop a3, threatening bishop d6, and my bishop and knight are completely locked. So I've got to go at the exchange, and I resign now because Well, for one thing, he's threatening bishop c5. He's also threatening rook a2. Secondly, he's exchange up. And if it was ever even a situation, which isn't happening anyway, but if there was ever a situation where I started getting the f-pawn going, let's say I went here and went f4, it's still completely hopeless because he would just probably queen the a-pawn first. And the point is, even if I get the pawn to f7, I'm still not threatening the queen, or even if I got a situation where the knight was controlling it from g6, he'd just give up the bishop for the pawn. So essentially, complete domination the whole game. If you look at the accuracy level, you see how impressively he played, because we see here, just scroll down, just change the camera, he played with 99% accuracy. Congratulations. I don't think I've ever played somebody or lost a game where the opponent had 99% accuracy. So he's clearly a very strong player. It makes me feel better about losing that game when you see that. And you've seen that level of play. It's a proper level. He seems like a nice guy. He's a young guy. He's probably a bit more human than a lot of these younger players. I think he goes out. Apparently he had a flight, someone was telling me, he had a flight at 5 in the morning. His idea was just to go down to the casino until then, and then just go straight to the airport. So maybe I shouldn't be relating that story online, because maybe his parents will see that and won't be very happy with him. But I mean, he's a big boy, right? But I think he's clearly got a very promising future, and it'll be interesting to see how he progresses over the next few years. He could be chess superstar, basically, based on his rating at the moment, very, very high for a younger player. So yeah, that was my game. But after the game, I had a very bad reaction to the game. I was very depressed. I was depressed anyway. And when you're depressed and you lose, it makes you just kind of, even if you're losing to good players, and I kind of just got spanked in that game, didn't I? It wasn't even close. I just got crushed. Made me feel inadequate. Made me feel like maybe I should retire. I'm losing to people who I'm like 30 years younger than me almost, and losing very quickly with white, or losing a very short period of time with white, and I felt like an idiot. And I went back to the hotel room and I went on Facebook and I said, I feel like killing myself, which is like it's like a typical comment I make after I lose a chess game, but more extreme. And then there were people coming on and they were like, oh, you shouldn't be saying, oh no, you've got loads to live for, blah, blah, blah. But yes, it's sad when you just suffer from depression like I do. It does affect you. It's kind of hindered me in life in many ways, because it's made me hard to do stuff like, I'm trying to force myself to do stuff during the day. I don't want to fall into that kind of depressed, don't do anything. I feel like if I do stuff, then I keep active. But I felt very helpless and depressed after that game, and obviously, yeah, which is kind of insulting to the opponent because he's a much stronger player than me. But then, in the evening, I didn't go out for the meal. I went to the KFC, which is horrific, the food, but I had to have something. It was relatively cheap. I didn't go out for the meal. And team meal. Normally I go out for a team meal on a Saturday night, and I just sort of went back to the room and just sat there and felt sorry for myself. But yeah, so that was my game against the clash of the Daniels. I lost that clash, and we drew the match though. That was a good result. Zoe Varney had a fantastic result on against David Eggleston. I think we'll look at that game in a separate video. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.